All right. Yo, thank you. Welcome to Just Code Brah. Yo, this is week 2, day 4. I think this is Thursday. I made some notes for the first time. I'm getting a little bit more organized, guys. Uh, but basically, I made some notes here to go over what I think we need to go over today. Actually, I think I'm clean code is going to be first, but these naming convention is basically what's going to be was talked about on clean code as well. So it's going to be a part of that. So basically, what I mean by clean code um, is having your code organized and easy to read, and that any other program that picks up your code is able to modify and read it as well. So it's just when people say, "Hey, make sure your code is clean," they're basically saying, "Hey, make sure that anyone that comes, they can easily pick up your code and figure out how to modify it or do something with it." And only reason why I said something like that is because most of everyone in this class, that if you made it this far, you started writing some type of code. So I wanted to kind of start you guys off on a good foot. Yeah, at first I let you guys just play around with the code and just put whatever you want. But let's talk about making it more professional, because I think the end goal with everyone who wants to take this course will be probably trying to get a code in some sort a code somebody trying to get a job in some part of the coding industry. Maybe at some point in time in your life, if you take this course, you may want to get a job. So if that is the case, I think that you should kind of start learning some of the industry standards that what people use. Now, when I say naming conventions, I mean when you're making code. And I know, Roger, you haven't seen this before because you haven't been on here. This is your first time. But most people that seen this has been able to do something like this. This is HTML with CSS. Now, when I say naming conventions, let's say I make it a div and I'm giving it an ID named box holder, which is pretty much we giving this div the name box holder. So what I did was and I did go ahead and properly name this one correctly. So what I did was I started with a lowercase letter, and then each consecutive word after that, I gave it a capital letter. So what that is called, that's called camel casing. Welcome, Dion. I'm just you kind of joined a little bit late, so I already started the video. So just if you want to catch up, you can catch up with the video, but I'm gonna recap a little bit anyway. So we're talking about
Okay.
clean code, what it means, clean code, what it means to have clean code, and why do we need clean code? So clean code is basically being able to write code that any other developer that picks it up can read it, and they can also modify it. They can make changes to it if any other person. So, and there's typically a standardization that the industry just, I mean, it's not like something, oh, you do this or you're getting looked frowned on upon. But if you do this, most people will be able to understand your code, and it'll be easier for the next person. And mostly all the organizations that you will apply for in the future, they're going to be looking at some of your code, and they're going to be like, well, hey, can he make it organized? Can he make it easy to be read for other engineers or coders or programmers or what have you? So that's what we're talking about right now. Uh, okay, so cool. So here's what I was talking about. The first thing we're going to talk about is naming conventions, and the naming convention that I'm talking about first is called camel casing. And basically, what camel casing is when you start the name of your code or or your your variables or whatever you name, you're naming something, you want to start with a lowercase letter, then each word after that you want to start with the capital letter. So it's going to be this one, we named it box holder, and I already started doing it correctly. I was doing it without even knowing it, because I'm used to it at this point in time. But that's something that I want you guys to get used to as well. So I named this ID box holder, I gave it a lowercase b, capital H for the next consecutive letter. So if I was gonna name box 1 something else, let's say we call this box called yellow. Each next letter will be capital. So as you guys can see, I can't type, but box called in yellow is capitalized because that's Camel Casing. And that's pretty much mostly the industry standard. A lot of people go with Camel Casing, but there are other things you can do as well. There's another one. We'll go ahead and copy this one. Let me copy it. There's another one called the capital. So if you do the capital, basically every first word is going to be capital. You'll see something like this as well. Box called yellow. But most of the time when you see someone giving something a name in your code or a variable, they're naming a variable or anything that is going to be used. And this ID right here is going to be corresponds to our CSS. And as you can see, box holder was the same thing, box holder. So when I'm targeting box holder, I'm talking about that specific div. That specific div that we made and we camel cased it. And it's easy to read. And that's something, like I said, just get used to that, guys. Try doing some of this when you guys are giving your divs and buttons and whatever else you guys are trying to make. Make sure you guys are practicing making camel casing or naming standards. All right, so we're gonna do that. So that's part 1 of clean code. So you got capitalized first levels and camel case. That's basically one of the new things I want to introduce to you guys. Now I got a question for Dion. I know it's Wednesday. You guys still have until Friday to kind of get some of that solo learn stuff. How far did you get, bro?
I'm on the CSS module 2.
Module 2? Oh, okay. Yeah, so you're going through pretty good then. All right, that's cool.
Yeah, that's the module 2. No, it's module 2. After module 2, all I got left is module 3, and then I'm done. But I wanted to let you know is that I don't know. So tomorrow I might not have my computer.
Okay.
And I'm not taking it. Oh, you're not taking the computer? Oh, well then never mind. I lied.
All right. No, I mean, cool. Like you don't necessarily have to have the computer on these meetings, but like some of the stuff that I demo, it's good to have a computer because you guys can practice some of the stuff while I do it to help cement it into your head and help you guys get a better handle on some of the new stuff that I teach you guys. So this that was basically one of the new things I want to teach you guys today. Today is over the hump for this week. So typically on the back side of the week, I want to start introducing something that we're going to start working with next week. And basically what we're going to start working with is messing with the command line. And what the command line is doing, you know how basically if we needed to make a file, we just go here, we would go to new, and then we would go new, and then we can select which type of file we want. Let's say we wanted a text file, and we name that text file new, right? If you wanted to make a new file, you would do something like that, right? Or if you want to make a new folder, you would go new folder, and then you would give it a name, new folder. You would do something like that to make a folder. So what if it was an easy way where you could kind of do it a little bit quicker without doing that and actually kind of helping you navigate through your controller without using the GUI system? And when I say GUI, guys, I pretty much mean the graphical user interface. Like basically the computer just it just understands code. And then someone graphically made this stuff look visible for us to click on and make it easy for us to get to certain programs and stuff like that. But what if I showed you guys something else? Let me see if I already have it here. The command line. The command line will help you guys basically navigate through your computer. First, it'll even make you start feeling like you are actually in the programming industry. Like you would just be like, oh man, I think I could do some stuff. basically you guys could do CMD to get to the command line, or what I like to do is I basically downloaded, which what I advise you guys to download as well. It's going to be called CMDER. And this is basically a command line emulator. It emulates a command line, basically the original command line, which I just showed you. This is the original one. Every computer has this. If you type CMD in your search bar, this will pop up. Every computer has this. And basically what this is saying is, hey, I'm in the users file and I'm under user X Night, which is probably me. I'm that user. And let's see, and I can pretty much look and see, can't use that. I can see what other stuff I have. So if you guys can look at here, like this is what the computer reads, right? This is computer reads, like this are all the documents, downloads, favorite links, musics, and blah, blah, blah. But it's basically going to pretty much mirror your file explorer. Desktop, downloads, document, pictures, 3D objects, music, videos, operating system, network. If you guys look, it pretty much mirrors that. Everything you see here is here. But someone graphically, and which probably is Microsoft or whatever I have Dell, maybe you guys, whatever operating system you use, they made something visually for people who don't know how to code to just click and get something and share and view and do all that stuff. But everything you guys can do with this click system, you can do with the command line. It's going to be a lot faster. A lot of computers that don't have a lot of operating power, or they don't have a big, Jesus Christ, I lost it in my head. Big RAM. They don't have a big RAM that just pretty much having compute power. They don't have a big RAM. Mostly how, like, they can't download this big operating system on there because it'd be very, very slow. But seeing, because most of us have laptops or computers, we have big RAM, we have big storage, so we can store all this stuff. We have this big RAM that can runs all this stuff. So it really, command line is useless. I'm not saying it's useless to us. For us that know how to use it, it's a good thing. But let's say I wanted to get to we're using Visual Studio Code, right? So let's say I'm here and I wanted to get there. So with the CMDER, which basically I can put the link for download, but you guys can also just go to Google and type CMDER, and it'll be probably the first thing that pops up, console emulator. And just go ahead and download that. I downloaded the full version. You guys can download the full version if you want as well. I recommend, especially if you have download full. You just hit this, download full, and then basically it's going to go to your downloads folder, which I think I still have it in there from a long time ago. I just got this computer, so I just started doing a long time ago. That's funny. Last month, a long time ago, last week. That's funny. It's not here anymore, but basically it'll come here, and then you could just drag and drop it onto your desktop and then go to it like I just did. But that's basically all you would do. Let's see. Let me open it up so you guys can see what it looks like. And Roger, like I said, if you have any questions, go ahead, man. I'll try and help you out as best if I can as well. All right.
All right.
CMD. And then it'll look something like this. All this stuff has to be together for it to work. So it is on my desktop somewhere, but I didn't see it. But basically, I'm going to click on it. So both of these are basically probably going to look the same. This one goes users night, and this one pretty much goes one step further. This one goes user. It's on my profile. I do have OneDrive on here, so it went into OneDrive first, and then now it's on my desktop, and then CMDER. There are commands that you can use, like if I do something like this, -- I can go back one level. Maybe not. I always get confused with that one. So what I would do is there's a command that says if I do cd ... This is a command that's used that when I use that, I can go back one level. So as you can see, I was on CMDER, now I'm on desktop. So basically, the computer doesn't see this graphical stuff on my background, but basically, I'm here. Let me close out all this stuff. Got it. Oh, shoot. I didn't want to close that. Then move this down. But basically, if I'm on the command line, this is where I am. I'm on my account, which is a OneDrive account, and I'm on the desktop. So basically, the computer, I'm here, right? So let's see if I can do something like code. Yeah, and code is just basically, code is basically a code that once put in, it brings up Visual Studio Code. And there's probably other stuff like Word. Maybe if I put Word in, it might open up Microsoft Word. Nope. Maybe Google, something. I don't know. You have to figure it. I would have to look online. But there's other codes you can do that can open up some of these programs on your desktop. Now, basically, why I'm bringing this up is because just like how we made that the file and the folder a little bit ago, we can do something, same thing as well. Let's do something like MD pretty much means make directory, which is basically a folder. Make directory, and I'm going to call it new folder. New folder. Where is it? There it is. Okay, it didn't make new folder because I think I already have a new folder. So that's why that didn't work. But let's do make directory and called it coding today. Now, once I do that, see how it automatically made that folder. We're on desktop. So it's basically me doing the same thing as left click, new folder, naming the folder. But you see how many steps it took to do all that. It took me a longer time to do that than it did for me to just do a code that says make directory and give it a name. And then it does it all for us. So, and then I could do something like, let's do CD, which pretty means move. Let's move to coding today. Coding today. And then I'll hit enter. What's going to happen is that's the same thing as me clicking on code today. So now I'm there. The same code, I'm doing the same thing. And let's do something like touch. This is a command that says let's make a file. Let's make a file called coding today .txt. We're making a file called coding today, and it's actually going to be a text file. So I hit OK. Bang, it created this. Does the same thing as me doing left click, new, finding a text document, making a new text document, and calling it coding today. As you can see, it's faster. It'll help, like when you're coding, you're going to be making multiple files and doing things really quick. We can do something called coding today. Oh, I'm sorry. We can do, once again, we can do touch coding today .html. That's going to make us a new HTML document called coding today. If we click on it, that's going to make a new web page. See how fast we did that with just two pieces of one piece of code. We can do the same thing called CSS. So when you guys are doing some of this stuff, instead of taking the longer route of doing things, I'm teaching you guys today how to do some of that. Now, this is basically a high overview. I'm gonna give you guys a link that's gonna help you guys do this and learn this a little bit better. I just gave you guys a high level overview of it really quickly. I have a link here. Oh, wait a minute. It's in my notes, isn't it? Yeah, it's in my notes. Think I did download it. Yeah. All right, cool. This link right here is what I'm going to pass on to you guys. And we're basically going to start at we're going to start at 1, and then we're probably going to move, copy a file, moving a file. These are pretty quick too. So I would probably want you guys to get through this probably as soon as possible. Like I gave you guys other things to do as well. But like I said, I start introducing you guys a new topic and something new every week. And this is something new that I think will be beneficial for you guys to learn. And it'll help you guys kind of speed up making your projects as well. And what I mean by project, helping you guys get finished with that first challenge for this week. You got a question, Dion?
No.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys this link, and then as fast as you guys get done with those solo learn stuff, you guys can jump on some of this. And this stuff is really quick too. I would just click on it, and basically it's some little reading and kind of some of the stuff that I just told you. And then it gives you all of the codes. Like I just said, change directory, make directory, ls, some of those things you just seen me do before, move directory. A lot of this stuff, these are just pretty much a lot of this stuff you guys won't use right off the bat, but this gives you guys some reading and some looking at this stuff to kind of get you guys moving forward. And we're using Windows. But the good thing about what I just downloaded for you guys, CMDER is going to use all these directories. So whichever one of all these codes. So whichever one works for you, you can use. I use the ones that I remind and ones I use the most. Like CP just means copy a file. And CP means copy. Let's see what about paste. I forgot what that is, but it might be PWD. Paste. I think it's the PWD which pastes it. So just basically the copy and paste function in the command line. But basically, like I said, just read through some of this, a little bit of reading. You guys don't have to pay for anything. This is all free. And then once you're done reading and stuff, you can just go to the next lesson. And like I said, everything that I show you guys, all this stuff is free. But like I said, you guys will have me. And they'll tell you to do something like this. They'll give you some information and they'll tell you kind of what's going on. So basically, you're gonna it's telling you not to type the $ and only type the PWD. PWD is gonna PWD is just print working directory. So it's pretty much saying, where am I? I'm on users, and Zed Shaw is his name, is his user. That's what so they're getting you to practice that. Basically, that was a pretty fast lesson. But basically, the only thing you would do is you would be doing what they tell you to do. They would say, they told you to put PWD. You put PWD, and it's pretty much tells you where you are right there. If I do PWD, just PWD, like Hey, I did it a couple times. All right, got that. That one's easy. All right, let's go to the next one. If you get lost, PW tells you where you are. The second command CD tilde takes you home so you can try again. So basically, if I go here, I do PWD tells me where I am. CW tilde, let me do space tilde, takes me, that didn't work. Maybe this is something I'll have to CD tilde. Let's see. Huh. That's not working. Thanks a lot, Zed Shaw. CD tilde takes you home so you can try it again.
So could I go through this like Python lesson if I wanted to?
Yeah, this is something you can do too, Roger.
Okay.
And I'll send all you guys this link in a little bit. So if that's something you guys want to get started on right away, it's just some real quick stuff. But Roger, what I would recommend that I probably want you to get started on is this sololearn.com.
That's Roger?
Huh?
That's Roger, Tanisha Roger?
Yeah, Tanisha Roger.
Oh. Yeah, I was wondering, you called him Roger. I'm like, I know this ain't the Roger I think it is.
Yeah, I only know one Roger in the world.
Yeah, that's what I was like. We got somebody else named Roger.
Yeah, no, that's my nephew. All right. So basically go to sololearn.com, you would sign up and then go to courses. And then I want you to start on this HTML fundamentals.
Yeah.
You just click on that. It's taking its time. And then you can start here, Roger, but you can start on the command line stuff too if you want to do that too as well. Depends on how much time you have, Roger. But this stuff is basically going to give if you start and you get through module 2, Roger, you will be pretty set up for when we start with you, because basically these guys are on this stuff now. But once we start, once you start with me, Roger, like if you get a high level overview and start doing some of this stuff, you'll understand some of the things I'm doing a little bit faster.
Okay.
All right. So I rather you do something like that, but I'll send you both. You can do whatever you want. You know, this is piquing you. If this piques your interest more, hey, by all means, do it.
Okay.
And so then the next one, let's skip this CW utility. I think that may be a command that Windows may have threw up. They made this a while back, so I don't think CW utility works anymore. But everything else will. Make directory. We're gonna call it temp. mkdir, maybe we're gonna make a directory. We're gonna call it temp. So basically, all we did was we're basically at the main screen. We made a new directory and we called it temp. Actually, we need to go back to the desktop. Then we're gonna make a directory called temp. Then you'll see temp that comes up, and then temp. Then we're gonna make a directory called temp/stuff. So inside of temp, we're gonna make a directory called stuff. So we'll do Mac directory /stuff. make directory temp slash stuff slash things. Syntax is not correct. Let me delete that. Oh, I'm bugging. I'm using Linux. That's why. But Windows tell you to do the same thing though. Okay, maybe I may tell you guys to hold off on this because I did this before, but
Been a while.
yeah, this may be outdated information. Make directory.
Is this supposed to be a backward slash?
Is that what it was? It a backward slash?
I think so.
Oh, backslash. Okay, that's what I was doing. So now if we go to temp, you'll see another one called stuff. We can do another one. Yeah, it's backslash. Okay, now I'm bugging. Things. So now if I go to temp, I have stuff and then things. So we just basically did that really quickly with coding, with code. So that's just a little practice that they teach you. Yeah, backslash. But see, they have a forward slash here.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. So use the backslash, which is right above the enter button. See, that's why you need young people in here, man. They catch stuff. So then you do temp, stuff, things, orange, apple, pear, grape. So we're going to do all of that really quick. We're going to make all those. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I don't want to buy that.
I'm trying to get your money.
Yeah, they trying to get me to get some money. Get my money. They ain't getting it today. Things, orange, slash apple, slash pear, slash grape. All right, guys. So yeah, we basically did that in a matter of what 10 seconds, 30 seconds to be fair, but I mean, it probably didn't take me 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So we did temp, stuff, things, orange, apple, pear. Great. We did all that in less than 30 seconds. If you guys did that the other way, you guys still be doing that. So just play around with that. Maybe that's already, that was what, 3 lessons already so far? And we've been doing it for what, 10 minutes now? So you can see how fast you can get through some of this stuff. We're on exercise 4 already.
Stuff is quick.
But all this is doing is practice, man, like basically. So let's do CD temp. So what we're going to be doing is basically telling them to change directly to the temp directory. So instead of us being on the desktop, now we're in the temp folder. You see that? We're out of the desktop. We went to the temp folder. So that's the same as clicking on temp. Did I reset? That's the same thing as clicking on temp. But I mean, it may be faster to click, but what if you needed to copy and paste and go through do things really quick? You could just do code. It gets a little bit better. So I mean, I hope I'm like convincing you guys this is quick, but
you convinced me.
It may not because you guys aren't really doing stuff right now. But once you start making making projects and doing stuff, you guys should take advantage of this, and you'll be like, wow, I'm glad I learned this. So then we can go to CD stuff. So we're in tip now. We're going to CD to the stuff. And then we're going to go to the thing. And we're going to go to pretty much what? Orange, apple, pear. CD orange. CD apple. CD pear. CD grape. And that was the same thing as clicking. So basically that's what they're showing you in these, showing you here. And once you get that far, instead of you guys can use PWD or you can use LS. PWD does the same thing to tell you, PWD pretty much tells you where you are, or you can just do LS and it tells you where you are as well.
Oh, okay.
LS and PWD does the same.
LS.
No, I'm sorry. LS shows you what's inside. I'm sorry, I'm lying.
Okay, LS
PW
shows you what's inside. And
yeah,
PWD
so if there was something
what?
inside of this folder, it would show you everything that was in there. I haven't used PWD because, I mean, you don't really have to use PWD because you know where you are all the time. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you just look up, you see where you are. But they're teaching you PWD, so do it. You know what I mean? It shows you where you are. If you guys do clear, it's gonna change. It's gonna get rid of all the stuff that you did on the screen. So if you guys get your screen filled down, it gets overwhelming from reading what you did before, just hit clear, and it clears it. So then they tell you guys to do the CD pair, which means go to pair. But all I'm doing is going backwards now. I can go backwards and forwards with CD. I can do CD pair. Wait, where am I? Let me move this. I can do CD, because I'm at grape. I can do pear. What are you doing to me, my guy? Oh, okay, maybe you can. So to go backwards is just the two periods. CD space period. You don't have to do period. You don't have to do the space either. I think it'll just go without the space. But now we went back from grape to pear. That's all we did. We went back from grape to pear. You do CD space again. It goes back again to apple. We can do CD and go back to pear as well. So we went down to apple, then we went back to pear. So CD period means go back. You guys are just practicing some of these commands. I would stop at the desktop, but if you ever go too far, you can always do that LS and you can see what's here and you're like, oh yeah, I just need to go to desktop. Just go CD desktop. And then now you're at desktop. All right, so there you go, guys. I mean, that's basically everything I have for today. I nailed it right on the time. So we got 3 minutes left. Did you guys have any questions at the end of this? Any comments or anything I can help you guys with better next time?
Man,
I'm good.
I just want you to know that you do a really good job, man.
My man, I appreciate it.
And I want you to know I appreciate you, man. If I never found, like, I always wanted to do something like this, and I always figured like I probably have to pay somebody to do something like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the $5 you charge is nothing compared to what you would really have to pay in real life.
I'm just saying, if someone was teaching you this in real life, you would be paying. But but I want you guys to get started and and not have the blockers. The blockers I had a lot of blockers. Like when I was first doing this, I was like, why am I doing this? I don't understand. But you guys have me telling you guys why you're doing this, and I'm going through and showing you guys 2 different methods of doing things. So I hope that helps, man, for sure. I do appreciate it. You got anything, Roman? Roger?
No, I'm good. I like this so far. It's nice and simple.
All right, cool. And coding, like I said, it starts off very simple. It is. It can get very advanced, but we're at a lot of this stuff, guys, is going to be simple. Even once you get to the higher stuff, if you get a grasp on some of this low level stuff, some of the higher stuff won't even be that hard because you understand what's happening with the lower level stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, cool. So that's it for today, guys, man. I do appreciate y'all for showing up. If there's no more questions, I'm gonna upload this video to YouTube. I'm gonna send you guys the link for this Python. You guys can get started playing around on your personal computers too. And if they tell you not to do it, don't do it. You'll find out the hard way. Just don't. Don't do it.
Okay.
So, wait. If they say don't do it and I do it anyway, what's gonna happen?
You go find out the hard way, and I don't want you to do it. And I was the same way. I was like, man, shut up. It ain't gonna do nothing. And I looked at it. I'm like, oh no.
Okay.
Oh no. How I'm gonna fix this?
I'll make sure to keep a mental note of that.
Don't do it, bro. Because I think they tell you on LSN 1, it says never put this command in. And I'm just like, well, why would you tell me never? Why do you tell people not to do this? I'm gonna do it. One of these programs they tell you not to do it. But yeah. Anyways, guys, read up on some of this stuff, have some fun with that, guys, and y'all know how to contact me because you guys are personal connections. So you guys know how to contact me if you have any questions or problems, all right? Have a good night. I appreciate y'all for sure.
All right, you too. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, yep. Y'all too, man. Thanks.
Yeah.